Okay. Let's get going then. So let's just start off by looking at Bitcoin here. Like overall, big range still. Have not left the range. You have this range all the way back since that's November. So mid-November, massive range. You have a range highs here. You did sweep those back in as 2 weeks ago. So you did sweep the previous highs 2 weeks ago, and from there you did just have this insane shop, which we talked about last week, where we basically just took out liquidity on both sides, basically every single swing. So you took out the high here. Well, you start off by taking out the high, then you come back, take out the low, then you come back up again, take out the high once again, and so on. So you just bounce back, forth and back, but between those sort of liquidity levels, basically trapping any sort of positions that people were in this time. Where I started favoring shorts, and I started seeing like a pattern inside of this mess right here. We talked about this last week also, was basically back here, where we have this sort of 3-wave move up into the highs. Which you did get a liquidity sweep right there. You took out the high. And because this was a 3-wave move and not a 5-wave move, it's a corrective move. Corrective moves are against the trend. So if a corrective move is towards the upside, a trend is towards the downside. So I was looking for breakdowns, basically. I was favoring shorts. I was trying to catch a short. I did get front run a bit here. Tried to enter on fibs, but we did front run that and we started up from there. So I did miss that short. We did catch some of these initial ones back here. We called those also. I know we caught some of these dumps. And then we had this bigger run up from late January up to basically the complete end. So we had like a week of run up, well, 4 days of run up. And we started building up liquidity towards the downside again. So this is where people started going aggressive long, because you can see here we made a higher low, well, higher low, higher low, higher low, higher low. And I was still favoring shorts. Even though we had this run up here, I was still looking for shorts. I did short back here. So I did catch most of this move towards the downside. Now, why is this not a bearish pullback? That's because of the way our markets moved back here. Just because, like, this would have been bearish, because we did have a three-way move here, which means corrective move, and you're expecting a 5-way move towards the downside. But you did not get a 5-way move towards the downside. You only got a 1, 2, 3. You did not get any more moves towards the downside. So a 3-way move is also a corrective move. Now this is a larger corrective move, and you have another 3-way move towards the upside. You could count 5 waves inside of this, but it's a very difficult count because you cannot count the microwaves. You can't see 5 waves inside of these waves, which makes it basically impossible to count this as a 5-wave structure. So this is an ABC, ABC, and then you have a 5-way move here. So this is an A. So if you look structure-wise, this is a corrective move also, A, B, C. So this is what I was looking at. We talked about this on Greeny stream last week, where I did share the chart where I was basically looking for the C wave to top out around here, where you do have, because inside of a C wave, looks like a wave 1, fakes a lot of people out. You have 5 waves. So you have a 5-wave structure, an impulsive structure towards the upside area. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then you topped out. And then from there, that finished our wave 2. So this is still a corrective structure. And now you're looking for a 5 waves inside of your C wave. So if we look here, you can see that we do have 1, 2, 3. But this is, well, let's say 1, 2. I would look at this all the way 3 here. Now the question is, because this is where it gets more difficult. If these are like microwaves where you have a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and we are going to find a bottom here soon. We did sweep that previous low. I think we did sweep this low back here. Yeah, so we did sweep this liquidity wick back here. We filled the imbalances back here. Is this 5-wave structure done, or are we still waiting for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5? So I'm suspecting that we're still waiting for this 4. It could be a very small 4. So we did have some sort of microwave here for 5, but it's rather unlikely. So the highest likelihood is that we are still waiting for a smaller bounce. Smaller bounce somewhere in this sort of 95 region, 95 to 97, up to your wave 4, which will still make a lower high, and then find your last leg towards the downside, which would finish your wave 3, wave C, I mean. Your 5 waves inside of your wave C, and that would mean your corrective move is done, and you start looking for impulsive structures towards the upside again. So that's what I'm watching right now for Bitcoin. So if you have a look, if you do find this bounce, it's very difficult trade to catch this leg 4, which would be a lower time frame bounce, very similar to this wave 2, but even more difficult. It's like one of the most difficult waves to trade. So you're likely to see a 3-way move. So you're looking at something like this, push up, and then make some sort of high or low here, and then push up, make a lower high, and then start pushing down again. Just some common fib targets. Gonna remove that. You take your fib from the high of wave 2 back to the lows of the current price. Let's just move that back a bit. Your common targets are going to be between the 0.5 and the 382. So that's where I would prefer catching another short right now for Bitcoin, if you do push up. And that short you would likely you would like to get in on the 0.5. That would be most optimized. You have stop loss above the highs, and you would be looking to target this initially back to the lows. That's where you take out first take profit, and then move some for the run lower to finish off this 5-wave structure. That would mark out the bottom of this correction C wave, or 3-wave, A, B, C. And then you can start looking for longs once again for impulsive structures towards upside. The safest way always to look for that long is going to be wait for, you don't need to knife catch, you don't need to catch the ultimate bottom, but wait for structures to form. And once you actually start seeing impulsive structures towards the upside, you can just get that long on that on the retest. So you have basically a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, sort of a 5-wave structure, which confirms it's an impulsive structure, something like that. You take your fibs from the lows to the highs, and a common target for a wave 2 or a wave 1, I mean. So this would be your wave 1. Wave 1 common target for a pullback, 618, 786. So this is where you would be looking for longs again. Then of course you can add other confluences to that, like RSI, MACD, liquidity levels, and so on. So that's what I would be looking for Bitcoin. If we have a look here, we can also look at some fibs for potential targets for this wave C. I'm just gonna remove this old stuff here of price action that hasn't happened yet, but I'm suspecting it will happen soon. As you did see, I did have this marked out. This was your liquidity pocket, liquidity level that I was looking at. Also, one thing, the fact that we did not take these highs out, you see here, we made a lower high instead of taking these highs out, means we have a lot of stacked liquidity above here. And we are very likely to come back and take that out. One thing that adds to this entire idea of a confluence. Now, this wave C could expand all the way back into the lows. it would still be bullish. Even if you push back all the way into this sort of 80, 88 area, would still be bullish. You would have a very extended wave 5 then. It's possible, unlikely, but it's possible. So if you use some fibs here, we draw it from the lows to the highs here. Let's see, lows to highs. You have your 618, which we're currently at. So that's a good bounce for wave 3. So look for that bounce, 618. You could start forming that push towards the upside. We start looking for shorts again on the squeeze up, and then likely can short that into sort of market open tomorrow or even Tuesday, depending on how slow this price action up is. We can also shop here for a bit, take out the lows once again, and then go up. Still expect us to respect this area to make a lower high. Okay, so what if this is already finished? You have a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, or something like that. Usually your invalidation for wave 4 is the 618. So if this wave 4 or this price comes up here, pushes into the 618, that lowers the risk that this is a wave 4, and it increases the risk chance that this corrective structure is done, and this is your C wave bottom, and you're starting to look for impulsive structures towards the upside instead. So then if you do tap into the 618, you look for a pullback, 3-way pullback, and you look for a higher low to then catch towards upside instead. So that's sort of invalidation. That's the 618. Right now that's at 1025, 570-ish. So that's something to be aware of. That's the same as these previous highs back up here. But usually you see that lower high in the 382.5 region. We did flip this liquidity pocket right now. Next one, if you do push up and start pushing down again, you would be looking at the 786. I could have even the 772. This region right here. Let's have a look. Let's have a look back here and see if we can find any confluence. I mean, you have this zone back here, which we did. It's sort of range. See if we can find any. Not that one. Any volume nodes here. Yeah. So this is your point of control from that previous range. POC. So that's nice added confluence. You also do have, I believe, if I look back all the way, for this entire upper range. Let's have a look. Yes. I think you could draw this even further back. Let's have a look. Okay, so we are bouncing off point of control right now. So you have your POC here of the entire range. POC. And then you have your valley area low back here, which is added confluence for the 76. So this, if you push up here, you come back, you break below the 618, the point of control of this entire range, you are likely to come back, push into valley area low, range, point of control, volume node range of this local structure, and your higher time frame fib levels. So that's a nice position to start looking for longs again. So those are like my most optimized trades I can look for right now. And that's going to be higher low, initially make a lower high, finish off this 3-way structure, and then start building a sort of a ground here to start building impulses back towards the upside into a minimum of these highs back here, and likely even push back into this high, which we do have a bunch of liquidity built up above like 110 to 112k, which right now it's high probability that we do come back up and take those. So that's basically what I'm looking for Bitcoin. Worst case, this wave 5 is an extended wave 5. and you have your like a, because inside of a wave 5 you also have 5 microwaves, which means this could be a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and this would be an extended wave 5. It would still be a valid correction wave, a wave C, but you would have to look back into these sort of levels back here, and you'd be looking for a liquidity sweep below this low back here and this low, and that would be around 87 back to 85. Worst case, still bullish guys. I know it would scare a shit ton of people, but the structure for me would still be bullish, and I would still expect us to start building impulses towards upside and break the highs in the coming 1-2 months. Good morning, Jordan. Lower chance that this happens right now because of the current waves, how smaller they are. So this is what we look for. It's one or the other. And if you do get this, we can have a look at older structures that are similar. If you do get that, this is basically what you're expecting. I'm gonna remove these. And that's the good old power of 3, where you have your accumulation. You're looking for that manipulation below that 90 to 85. And then you look for a reclaim, sort of a V-shaped recovery, and that will push us back into these highs, minimum, and likely even higher. Long term would still be very bullish. And this could happen in 26 days, that we actually start forming this low bottom push up. I don't have any time frames on this, so these days are just speculations. Or we do form that higher low here. And this structure is overall just a correction right there, and then you start pushing towards the upside. I can't write like that. Let's have a look at some other coins now. Ethereum. It's a slightly more difficult structure. It's a very similar structure, but it's more difficult to count. Let me have a look at this, because I did have one planned out, I thought, at least. Yeah, this is the chart. Remove some old stuff here. And we are basically looking for the same thing here. Just because this structure here is a 3-wave structure. That means if this is a 3-wave structure, this is a 3-wave structure, this is a 5-wave structure. A, B, C. Look for the same thing. Now you say can't speak. Wave C. In the ETH chart is a lot more difficult to count. It's a lot more difficult because you have so many microwaves that this could be like a 1, 2. This could be a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This could be a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This could also be a 1, 2. Well, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Difficult. Recommend you only trade spot on ETH for now. I like this zone that we're currently in for ETH. Let's have a look. We did sweep those levels back here. I would be looking for us to sweep back into this low back here. We do have a pattern on ETH that I've noticed, is that we form almost every single time before we move up. We form 3 waves or 3 bottoms basically. So here you do have basically 1, 2, 3, and then you start moving up. If you look back here, you have a 1, 2, 3, and then you start moving up. Even here you do have 3, but this one will be a smaller one. And you have it basically on every single chart. So if we have a look on the 12 hour here, I would be looking for us to start pushing down, still lower. I would like to see a lower low. I want to see us break this low back here. We had your 618 fib. That's at 2.85k. It's from the lows all the way back up to the highs. We can add even the 786 to this in case we do drop down. Let's have a look at RSI. Can I remove this? Zoom in here a bit here. You can see that you made a low back here, you made a low back here. This low is a lower low, but the RSI made a higher low. That's a bullish divergence right there. You see some type of reaction based off that. But now I'm looking for another bullish divergence. So we basically have the low, 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 lower low. Now I'm looking for kind of another higher low here. I'm priced to make a lower low. So you make 2 bullish divergences on the 12 hour. And that way you can form a nice bottom here inside of this range to then start pushing back up again. So if the worst case happens on on Bitcoin, where you do start pushing down to 80s, basically 85k, 87k level range, I would be looking for us to come back here into the 786, fill these imbalances, test this previous mid-range, form some sort of a bottom here, and then start pushing up. And that would still be the same correction wave that we are currently looking at. Just a extended leg towards the downside on the C pattern. And just because these waves that we're currently in are very difficult to count on ETH. So this could be a 1, 2, 3. My guess is this is 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So because this right here, if it's a 2, it's a very shallow one, which means your wave 4 is likely to be a bit more posterior towards the upside. So if you just use fibs here from that high to the current lows, this could even push up into these 618, 786 levels, make them hopium, and then we dump it once again, form the low, and then start going. So that's what I'm looking for ETH. You will get your confirmations on Bitcoin first. You will get that. Solana, very similar. You have, even though I have an older structure back here, you have 5 wave moves towards the upside, even though they're very small waves. It's a very impulsive move. I was looking for a large correction. You have a very complicated wave inside of this. This is very messy. But I was simply looking for a ABC correction, and this was going to be your 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So this is only a wave 4, and you're looking for a wave 5 to confirm this C wave being done. Now we can be a bit more zoomed in on ETH also, not ETH, I mean Solana, and start looking for the same thing we're looking for the rest of the coins right now. Let me remove some old stuff. I might have a better chart for this. Let me have a look. Yeah, here. Where you had a 3-wave structure, you have a 3-wave structure, and now you're looking for a 5-wave structure towards the downside. This is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Could be done. There is a chance that this is done and that this pushes into the 618, invalidates this wave 4, and you start forming higher lows and then push up again. So that's something I'm staying aware of if Solana is strong, because this looks a bit more, this looks like it has a higher chance of being wave 4 and 5. Though if we do count on the micro count, so instead of a wave 3, which this would be, you have 5 waves. So this would be a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, which is why I think this is a wave 3. And I'm still waiting for 4 and 5. Still waiting for 4 and 5. According to Elliott Waves, that's the highest probability right now. And this is all inside of a C wave, same as Ethereum and Bitcoin. And all you're waiting is for this to find a bottom, basically, to then form that last wave up and then form the actual last corrective structure down and then start pushing towards the upside. We can look for some zones together here on Solana that we overall like could be interest zone for longs. Start producing fibs, lows to highs. Let's see. Okay, right there. 786, looking very nice. Let's add the 886 also, because you can push down to the 886. Even though it's usually a lower chance that you do get it, but I'm still adding it on top of there in case we do get that. I'm gonna remove the 618.5. I have no point in using those right now. We can also go back a bit here and we can look for a. So look if we can get that volume profile or not. I guess not. So this then. I mean, that's weird. Well, can't get that right now, I guess. Well, I guess we have to do it without them then. Yeah, so I mean, volume node, my guess is you have higher volume because you do have these consolidation areas. Higher volume usually within these areas. So if you just zoom back a bit, you have your small consolidation here right before they move up. So that's where I would be looking. So the mid-range of that, you can see that we bounced previously, bounced at the lows of it. So that tells me that this is a high volume node. You could also look at this previous range fib levels. So let's throw those on top of there. And we can see that the 618 would be slightly below the 786. So that's a nice added confluence right there. We can also see that it's basically the last level we did flip before starting making impulsive moves towards upside to the 260 range. So that is going to be my first zone of interest right there. So that's like 196 to 189, 786 zone. And second zone of interest would be at the lower range of this 886. So it would be around here. And that's where I would be looking at also. And that's also the range low of this previous range back here. But it's rather likely that you do get that bounce of this 195, 204 range. I do have some harmonics. Oh, this is even an old chart. Yeah, so I did have this marked out that I was looking for longs here also. Yeah, okay, I have the volume nodes marked out here. So value area low right there, 195. 786, same zone. So that's where I'm looking. Give me that. And you are finishing this corrective move. So this is an impulse. You're looking for this corrective structure to finish back into between 618 and 786. And then start forming impulses towards upside again. I think I have even more here. Yeah, you can see here larger. On the higher time frames, you're inside of this potential wave 3. with forming a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And this could push up. Common target is that 401, 1618, but could expand as high as that 2618 at 545. So that's it for Solana. Don't think I had any more charts that I was specifically looking at. I'm looking at AVAX. Still looks like it has to move sideways for a bit. I mean, you can see this falling wedge. I have not counted any Eldrot waves on this. I'm not going to try to either. You have your higher time frame, 786 fib, close to us currently. I am still looking for this inverse head and shoulders. For AVAX. And if you do get that bounce on Bitcoin here and you still forming that move up and then find that bottom and then you start moving, so that you will be looking for the same thing initially on AVAX. We can use that trend line. You can see that we have some nice confluence here. So that's 786, 25, 28 to 25 bucks. You're welcome, Shiba. And also, if we zoom out, this on a macro scale is a larger corrective, well, not corrective, impulsive structure, where you have a wave 1, 2, and you're inside of this wave 3, which is a more expanding wave with a minimum target of 109. But I would be looking back into the highs at 147. So if you do get that 147 from 25 bucks, would be like a 5.8x. I mean, give me that. But I will be de-risking above 100 bucks. That's for sure. And it will be 3x for AVAX. I've seen on-chain on AVAX, it's catching on a bit. So that's very good to see, actually. Falling wedge, if you just look at this as a pattern-wise, this is your impulsive move into the falling wedge. So you use that as your target. And once you do get that breakout, you're looking for the top of that range. So that's 74 bucks for a breakout target of this falling wedge. I'm looking for longs or stack up longs. I would maybe even start looking for swing longs right now, where you basically just have your stop below those lows back there. I do wonder if we could come back and take those lows out. Let me have a look at 886. Okay, there is a chance that we do take out those lows. But yeah, there's like two potential setups here. I would have my fib, stop loss at the 886 first. If you do come back there, you can look for another setup. And that would be just a swing back into the highs. Value area high, point of control of that move. Previous range lows. Overall, nice chart. I like it. I like it a lot. Gonna have a look at render for you guys. It's a very similar chart to AVAX. I know if I can find it. Oh, it's right there. Yep, same thing here. You're in this higher time frame correction wave. All you're looking for right now is to find the bottom of that wave C. So if you do count waves here, I do say 5 waves inside of this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I think render finds the ground here very soon. Is there a chance that this 1, 2 gets invalidated? Yes, there is. I do see that also. Because you are below the 886, so you could come back and sweep this low back here, which would invalidate this structure. This would still be a pullback structure, corrective structure, but I would have to count this differently. Or this would be some sort of, I don't know, could be a failed wave 1 2. So you basically have to readjust, sweep those lows first. I'm gonna draw a line from that also just to have it marked out. Could see a sweep of those lows. If you do see a sweep, you would still be looking for that impulsive move towards the upside, but then you're likely to see a larger dip and then start forming those impulses towards the upside once again. So that is something I would look for. Overall, same here. You have a head and shoulders, inverted head and shoulders. I would be minimum targeting these fibs at 1618, 18.39. But I expect render to go higher. I do. But that would be my first targets, 1618, 14.4. That would still be a 3.5x from current prices. What you would not like to see get taken is this low back here. You want to see this low get protected. We can use some fibs here. Lows to highs. You did break the 786. So either you do find your ground here in the middle of this sort of 886, 786. I do like to use fibs between fibs sometimes. So if I have a look at this, and the 5 and 618, and you do found your floor inside of this, because this to me is a 5-way structure. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I expect some sort of strength from render here soon. Even if it's only sideways and the rest of the market dumps, or if it's going to be impulsive and start moving towards the upside still. So we'll have to wait and see on that. Preferably avoid tapping this 886. If you do tap it, look for SFP back here. Deviation for a push up. Want to see this low get protected. Protected low. Do you guys have any other coins you want me to look at? I checked Solana, I checked Render. We can have a look at Near also once we're at it. Near looks like we are coming down also. I would not be surprised to see these lows get swept. Because I know a lot of markets, coins did already sweep these lows back here. We know Bitcoin did it, where you basically had these come back here and then go up. We did also leave it. We did also leave it for a bunch of altcoins. So I would not mind to see us sweeping these lows. But let's have a look at this. Adding the 786, 886. So you're coming down to the 886 right now. Usually you do see some sort of bounce off the 886. We can see here, this here is a 3-way structure. This here is a 3-way structure. So now we're looking for a 5-way structure towards the downside. If this is a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, could be, or this is a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, find your ground and then start pushing up. We can use even higher time frame fibs. Let's throw the 618 on there. So we are below the 618. So the 786 is your next higher time frame fib for Near. 72 is also one I'm usually looking at. 072. And that would be, yeah, at these previous lows back here. So that would be your first bounce zone right there, and second bounce zone back there. I know Aussie is usually looking for a sweep of these lows back here, on something like ETH. So if you do get that, I wouldn't mind it. Get that slightly larger deviation. Expect a fast recovery though. If you do get a sweep of these lows back here. Also, I am sounding more not bearish, but I am more neutral on alt right now because I don't think they are finished. I don't think so. I think Bitcoin could find a ground here soon, but I still think alts have another 48 to 72 hours more of dump action. Just because of Bitcoin dominance. Simply because of that. So here I am looking for, as you can see, I shared this chart also, I am looking for this wave 5. This wave 5 in this case is also invert of the Bitcoin chart AABC. So Bitcoin has an ABC like this, which means this is a corrective structure and you're looking for moves up. Bitcoin dominance has a ABC towards the opposite side, ABC, which in this case means after this AC is finished, you're looking for impulsive structure towards the downside. Ooh, what's going on? Can you guys hear me? I accidentally disconnected. Am I all good? Okay, you can now. Okay, sweet. Did you guys hear anything I said? Okay, what's the short pause? Yeah. Okay. Yeah, so just simply I was looking for this inverse, not inverse, I mean this corrective structure on Bitcoin dominance. Simply dumping alts even further than Bitcoin. So Bitcoin has a higher probability of finding a ground soon or start moving sideways, and alts will still likely bleed for a bit. But once this C wave does find its top, so to say, you are in a wave 5, so you are in the last impulsive structure in this corrective wave. So I am expecting some sort of slowness soon in this. And you do have, if I do count just waves here on a micro, I would be looking at this as bullish case. This is a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Rather unlikely this is a wave 1, and this is a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And that wave 4 could be your bounce tomorrow on alts, and then you get a last push towards upside here on Bitcoin dominance, forming this wave C finished, and then you start seeing those impulsive structures towards the downside and what everyone likes to call alt season. I think Bitcoin dominance tops out in the coming week. Yeah. Now it's a question of, will we get a very expanded wave here where we take out the high, make alts bleed a bunch? Because this could be an expanded wave 5, you know? But still, I still expect it to be topped out in the coming week. And then we should, I'm gonna say should, or I expect markets to start finding its lows grounds and start actually pushing towards the upside. This was a sneak peek, and I'm expecting the real deal. Also, because this structure back here is a difficult structure also. So if this is a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, this is your large ABC, then you're not expecting us to take the high. So I'm watching this high. If this high gets protected, then your wave C is likely to happen within this zone. Bitcoin dominance is likely to top out, and this somehow is a 5-way structure. It's always difficult to count on these dominant charts when it comes to Elliott waves, at least on a micro, because you don't have that clear of price action wise. But then you expect a lower high, and then starting forming impulses towards the downside. So I will not be surprised to actually see also good in February, given that good price action. But not running into positions, staying patient. Give me that initial confirmation, and then we can start sending things up. The chart we want to have a look at, it's going to be the Bitcoin chart still. Also, if you do see alts that are heavily oversold, chart that sweeps previous lows, so on and so on. SFPs, higher time frame bullish divergences, all things that we would like to keep an eye on. And for Bitcoin, you want to see this sort of waveform likely today, tomorrow. Likely fill some sort of semi gap and then pushes lower again to actually form its low. But yeah, we can see here Bitcoin is still just holding up barely by this 97k range. Love to hear that, cool dude. Cool dude. Thank you. Canadian bro. Yeah, I think buying spot is a good option right now. Like adding slowly DCing into your spot at these levels, your risk to reward is amazing. Like let's say if we are close to the bottom, you're risking like 10-20% towards the downside. And meanwhile, the markets can go up 50, 100, 150, 200%. So I think it's a good place to DCA. And even if you only do like 33% today, 33% tomorrow, and then 33% the next day, depending on how market opens looks tomorrow, Tuesday. Of course, we do have the tariffs, which was one of the reasons the markets dumped. But that's likely going to play out in the coming days anyways. I did see someone else also asked about Tau. Let me have a look at that. I did have a search for Tau, I think. Let me have a look. Because I looked at it recently. I did say I got front ran on it. Oh, I did have a short. Which I absolutely fumbled because I forgot about the bid. That would have been a nice short though. Yeah, so we are still expecting slightly lower daily levels for Tau. So I would even drop this one lower. Let's have a look back here. You had your value area low on the daily level at 340. You have your 786. That's a fib extensions from high to low to high. This is a corrective structure for me. You have a very clear 5-wave structure back here to make the highs. So this is very bullish. I'm very bullish on Tau. I want to buy Tau. I don't hold any. Yeah, hours you can live with. Yeah. Imagine 48 to 72%. Oof, that would be nasty. So let's see. Yeah, so Tau, this lows I'm expecting to be protected. And you have a very clear 5-wave structure towards the upside. Very clean structure towards the downside. Now I'm all looking for, the only thing we did was sweep back here. And we're still looking for this C to form out. Of course, your optimal targets will be, so 1-to-1, it's going to be 244, 786 on the higher time frame is at 289. I'm very willing to take a larger punt on the price at these levels for a swing long. Set stop below these lows back here, and then just hold on to it. But I want to DC spot in these levels. So back here at 618, 786, I mean, value area low on the daily, all the way back into 786, point of control, into this 260 area. Worst case, 244, where I'm expecting a bounce off this order block back here. So that's a very simple short for Tau, but I'm really liking the short. I really like it. I think it's one of the best looking shorts right now. You have like Ondo, Tau, Radium, which are some of the best looking shorts in the market currently. Mog, not the best looking shorts. I've even added here, you broke the trend line, because I was looking for a bounce here. Let's draw that, bounce here, and then a reclaim. You did not get that reclaim. So now you're looking for demand zone, previous lows. I have the word pray. So mog holders, once we get that back here, pray that it holds, and hopefully we do get that bounce there. Into this first, form a higher low, and then break up. If that does not happen, it can get quite worrisome. Do we have any trend lines here? You could have that. So we'll be looking there. Could also be a nice swing trade. Only back into that previous high at 0.166. That's a 2x from here. Yeah. MKR, I know a lot of people are in this. Overall, short looks fine. I don't think it's anything to worry about. The fact that this was not the low just means that our correction is not done yet. This was an A, this is a B, this is a C. So this is what you're looking for here. Before you actually do find that the chart bottom. I don't think this is a terrible looking short either. I know it's very aggressive towards the downside, which is one of the things that can scare a lot of people off. But the fact that you did have a massive run up, this is still only a portion of a pullback. But preferably hold that 86. Wick high there. Could even find ground here earlier on. I was trying to count waves inside of this before, but I think this is the one. Well, let me remove some of these things. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Basically the same as most coins right now. That's what I'm expecting. Wave 3 is always the most impulsive one, and it's also the longest wave most of the time. Sometimes wave 5 is longer, but majority of the time it's not. Charts I'm looking at also super broke to 786, looking to fill these imbalances. Give me that point of control. I'm looking for swing longs again. Find this low of 2, see correction low. We called it all the way back here that we were to look for this 786, which we now got as a 54% pullback. Look into filling these daily imbalances and then find your ground there and start pushing up again. Prime, another good example here. Same thing, though here you did break that 786, you're already back at the 886. Now there is a chance here that you do push back into these lows, and you have to look for a new structure to build impulses towards the upside if you do break these lows. You could still make a higher low here. But if you do break these lows back here, you look for a entirely new structure. Or I've counted this completely wrong, and your initial wave is from back here. And you have like a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and this is an ABC, and this is a 1, 2, 3. Could also be the case. Could also be the case where this is happening. Staying patient on some of these coins. Overall, still not a bad place to DCA if you believe in gaming coins. Move, no interest there. Solana ETH, also no real surprise here that you're pulling back. Oh, I accidentally removed one. As you did have this very impulsive move. Like massively impulsive. That moved up 66% in the span of, well, that's basically even less. That's the span of 5 days. So people should not be surprised to see a pullback. And this looks to me like an ABC. Now, if this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, you're still looking for a bounce. We did break the 618, which is very interesting because then it's a bit more difficult to count on a structure wave. So I would have to just wait and look for see here. You can look back at these range lows. High, low, high, high. Cup, potential handle. Or maybe ETH actually starts performing. Who knows? Grass is one I was looking at also. I still think we're in this wave 5. If I try to count here, you do have a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 potentially, or 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So yeah, looking for lower still, but still very interested. Still very interested. Just looking back at these levels, you don't have much of a zone back here. You basically have this high that you could look for. Then just in general, these candles back here. That would be at 886. So I'm looking for my initial bounce here. Or if that doesn't hold, you look for that V-shaped recovery back of that 886. Well, I think I am pretty done there, guys. Don't think there's too much more to look at. I know fog. You have your range low point of control, which is this range back here. We did talk about this last week, and we did get the bounce, but you did just get the rejection, and you start breaking down again. Look for the same thing again. You look for this reaction here. You need to see some sort of bounce. Maybe get maybe get a sweep of this low back here. But you need to see strength. You need to, and not only this is not strength. You need to see a proper strength. Then you can actually start looking to accumulate it, and then you can start for more upside. Potentially back into these sort of levels. I don't know if it goes back into the highs, but these sort of levels could very well be. But still, there's no ground here. You're catching a knife. So careful with that, guys. Careful with that. I was trying to have a look here. ABC. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So this could be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Or 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Depending on how you count it. AVAX against Solana, your SFP low, still looking for that bounce here. You did have a market structure shift before, but then Trump decided to pump Solana, so it just nuked against Solana. So now you have to find this sort of momentum towards the upside once again before AVAX actually starts outperforming Solana. If it ever happens. Well, I'm gonna end the recording there, guys.